The first thought to begin with is this: to settle your pride issue first. You think through your motive of teaching. Why are you teaching? What's going on in your heart? Why are you even a youth worker? If it's to show how much you know, that pride, and actually that insecurity, can be sniffed out very quickly from students. Arrogance is the most transparent emotion I know. You see, by the grace of God, you and I have something to offer. And we offer it in jars of clay that are easily broken. And because of God's love letter, the Bible, you and I, we have something to teach. Other than that, we don't have much to go on. Think about pride. Think about your arrogance, because arrogant people aren't trustworthy. Another element of building into the ethos, or another practical idea, is to tell your failure stories. When you're teaching, tell failure stories. I trust other people that have failed, because if you never share your defeat, I don't trust you, because I'm dying in a pile throughout the week, and I want to hear about other people that are struggling as well. And by the way, this is where you have great humor opportunities, right here. Tell those failure stories and tell them that make you look bad. You know, throw out your corny Reader's Digest jokes. When people say to me, you know, you're funny, you tell great jokes. Well, you know what? I never tell jokes. I tell stories. And humor comes from real-life stories. Tell the stories that are fun, but tell the ones where you failed. Because students are listening and they're thinking, good, I failed too. I can relate to you. I trust you because you're a failure. Now, that doesn't sound all that much fun, but that's all part of that ethos, and can I trust you? Now, when it comes to the pathos and the question of, do you care about me? You see, one of the things I think about every weekend when I teach up front is this truth. Until students become sociologically comfortable, they will not become theologically aware. Now, think about this in your teaching setting. What does that mean? Well, it means until students feel comfortable in the environment where I am teaching, I can tell students all day long that God loves you. But if they haven't felt loved by me or other adults or students in the room, that love value collides. They need to know that they're loved and they're cared about. So what are some things that we can do? Well, one thing we can do is we can disarm them. You see, students are totally stressed out. They attend our meetings with a lot of pain and baggage and stress, and you try to disarm them by showing them immediate care. You stand at the door, you greet them, you touch them as they enter the meeting with a handshake or a hug. You ask them a question about their day or their week, and you look them in the eyes, and you engage with them. You smile, you laugh, you talk with them. You help them relax, and you help them leave their emotional guns at the door. Another real practical idea is that when you are teaching, you show emotion to a student's question. This helps feed the pathos that you do care about them. See, this doesn't have to be fake emotion. This is a Christ in you emotion. This is when somebody asks a question and you can actually feel the pain. When a student says, hey, Doug, does God still care about my dad even though he's a homosexual and not a Christian? Well, instead of just moving right into the answer, I might say something like, man, that's a great question. And my guess is that's a tender point in your life right now, isn't it? I bet your home life can get real tough at times. By the way, thanks for asking that gutsy question. And then I might answer the question, where you show some emotion there. You see, answering questions, it's really a good communication tool to show some care and some concern. Don't just spit out the answers. Another real practical way to show that passion and that do you care about me is to stay after. After a teaching time, tell students, hey, I'll be here as long as you want to talk. You know what that communicates? That communicates that I care enough about you to give you some time. If you have questions, man, I will be here. Another way to communicate that you care about them when you teach is to define churchy terms. You know, like grace. Grace is a churchy term. Now, what does that mean? Is it what we say at the table? Is it a deep theological truth? And don't assume that every student understands your terms. Define those. Break them down. Walk students through them. That communicates care. When you teach and you have big terms, tell stories like Jesus did.